Hi everybody. Hope you guys had a great first week of school. Um, just a reminder that if you're struggling a little bit with any of the material or you have questions, come see me for help. Set up an appointment, send me an email, or there's the Academic Resource Center, which is also a great option for some extra help. Okay, so today's video is a little bit more about solving equations. These first two are going to be equations that have kind of a special, unique answer. All right, so let's take a look. In this first one, on the left side I have 4x minus 3 equals 2 times 5 plus 2x in parentheses. So the first thing I have to do is distribute to the right side here. Okay, so I get 4x minus 3 equals 10 plus 4x. Right? And now what I'm going to notice is when I try to get my x's to the same side, minus 4x minus 4x, they cancel out on both sides, and I get negative 3 equals 10. When that happens, you ask yourself true or false. And in this case, negative 3 does not equal 10. What that means is that there is no solution to this equation. There's no x value that could make this equation true. Whatever we plugged in for x in the top equation, it would never create two sides that are equal. So, when I say no solution, there's a symbol you maybe have seen that means no solution. You can use this symbol. It's the 0 with the slash through it. Number 2 here, similar problem. There's some distributing to do on the left side, so I get 2x plus 3x minus 6, 3 times x, 3 times negative 2, equals 5x minus 6. And on this side, I have some x's to combine together. I have to kind of clean it up. I have to combine my like terms. 2x and 3x makes 5x minus 6 equals 5x minus 6. And this time, when I subtract 5x from both sides, let's cancel out again, I'm left with negative 6 equals negative 6. In this case, that one's true. All right, so we're going to say that the answer here, when it's true, is all real numbers. All right, all real numbers. So the two things that could happen, if you get a false statement, it's no solution. If you get a true statement, negative 6 equals negative 6, or you could have added 6 to both sides and gotten 0 equals 0, then it's true, so we say all real numbers. All right, let's try some other problems here. More equations with fractions. All right, so in this case, if you look at example 3 down below, you can see that there's multiple fractions. And what we have is some steps that you can go through to deal with a problem that has multiple fractions. So your first job is to get common denominators. Then once every term has the same denominator, we can cancel them all out, and then we can solve it. So I've got three terms here. X over 3 plus 5 over 6 equals 4. So the first thing I need to do is make sure, since there's multiple fractions, I need to get them all to have a common denominator, and that includes the 4. So I'm going to make 4 over 1, and then my common denominator would be 6. So for x over 3, I need to multiply it by 2. For the 5 over 6, it's already 6, so that'll be fine. And then for 4 over 1, I need to multiply it by 6. So my new equation is going to be 2x over 6 plus 5 over 6 equals 24 over 6. Now, all the denominators are 6. So what I'm going to do is multiply the whole equation by 6. And what that does is that cancels out every single denominator. And so what I'm left with is just 2x plus 5 equals 24. Often with these problems, we don't get the nicest of answers. When I subtract 5, I get 2x equals 19. So I divide by 2, and I get x equals 19 halves, which I'll leave as my answer. So just to review the process, we got common denominators. We canceled out the denominators by multiplying by whatever that denominator was, and then I just solved like a regular problem. So let's try another one like that. If you want, pause the video when you see the new problem and try it on your own first. So here's number 4, and I'm going to follow the same 3 steps. Get a common denominator. So first, I need to put the 2 over 1, and 5 and 8 will get me to 40 as my common denominator. So I need to multiply by something to get everything to 40. So in the first, for the 2, I need to multiply by 40 on the top and the bottom. For 5, I need to multiply by 8 on the top and the bottom. And for 8, I need to multiply by 5. So my new equation becomes 80 over 40 plus 3x times 8 is 24x over 40. And 5 times 40, sorry, that's going to be 5 on top and 40 on the bottom. Okay, they're all the same. Now I can multiply the whole equation by 40 so that I cancel all those denominators out. And I can finish this up. My new equation is 80 plus 24x equals 5. All right, I got to get the x alone, so I need to subtract 80. 24x equals negative 75, and I can divide by 24. So I get my final answer is x equals negative 75 over 24. And we've got one more problem to do here. Number 5 is a little different, okay? It does have multiple fractions, so you could use the same exact method. But for this one, there's actually a method that you've probably heard of before. When it's just fraction equal fraction, we can cross multiply. It needs to be the situation though, fraction equals fraction. That's the only time it works. Okay, so here I have fraction equals fraction, so what we do is we multiply diagonally. Okay. And what that's going to get me is 2 times x equals, and so when you multiply diagonally, you set the two answers equal to each other, equals 4, and I need parentheses here. That's what's tricky, because I need to multiply 4 times this whole thing, x plus 3. All right, I need to multiply by that whole thing. All right, so my new equation is 2x equals 4 times x plus 3. Then I'm going to distribute, so I get 4x plus 12. And now I have 2x and 4x, so I want to get them together. I want to get it away from the 12, so I'm actually going to subtract 4x from both sides. And I get negative 2x equals 12, divided by negative 2, and we get x equals negative 6. So in this video, we got some more practice with equations with fractions, and then we also saw that sometimes you get no solution, sometimes you get all real numbers as the solution. Thanks for watching.